So if you think for 5 seconds that Jeff Bezos, as capitalist as he is, person who wants to go to the moon, go to Mars, go to the planets I've never heard of, go to Pluto, if you think they're not going to sell your information, you're mad. Where there are no safe abortions, there are no safe pregnancies. This is a fact, not a theory, not a feeling, period.
Birds flying high, sun in the sky, you know.
If you are a black woman, this is for you. So, and when I say black woman, I mean a woman or human that is capable of birthing, who has a whole reproductive cycle and that's capable of birthing. So trans man or cis woman, welcome. All right, so this is especially for you. They're coming for your pum pum. They're coming for your kuchi meow meow, your meow meow, for your pum pum. They're coming for it. Okay, and this is what we're going to do. I have a 4-step plan that I've laid out. So if you were here last week, we were hysterical, we were crying. It was crazy because I had just heard about the Roe v. Wade reversal. It was terrible. I filmed my immediate reaction, and now it's on the Patreon because it's a little crazy, and we don't want you guys we don't want you guys coming up with your theories, etc. Like, for people who don't know us, yeah, so I put that on the Patreon. You can watch that, and this is going to be 2-part, right? The first part, I'm going to leave it here obviously for you guys to watch and as a resource, and the second part of this is definitely going to be behind a paywall, and I know why I'm doing that. Same reason why I put my immediate reaction of the reversal on the paywall, because I feel like those intimate feelings and that intimate space is literally for the people who are willing to be part of the community, and how you pay to be part of that community. That video is in the $1 tier. The second part of this is also going to be on the $1 tier because I don't want to make it expensive. I just want to make only the people who need to hear this to hear that second part. Meanwhile, the first part's for you guys. So if you are especially a black woman, this is for you. First thing you're going to do is find a doula. Find a gangster doula. Find a doula that looks like you and that represents you. Find a doula because not all skin folk are kinfolk. Find a doula that represents you, that looks like you, that shares your values. So I'm not talking about these people who are on social media screaming blah blah, oh yeah, you know, women's rights, but people that are no. You need to dig deep. Find a doula in your community, a midwife, a green witch, and a green witch will be a woman with the knowing. Either she was born with the knowing or she learned and studied the knowing, like a dibia, right? Find a dibia, find a green witch, find a doula. You know what a doula is. If you can't find the others in your community, you can find a doula. Find a doula that looks like you, that shares your values. How do you know they share your values? You are in community with them. You're looking at what they support financially. You're looking at what they support in terms of the people they follow, in terms of the events they go to, in terms of their family dynamics, who they talk to, who they don't, all that stuff. You really got to dig deep, right? But now is the time to put all these resources together, whether you live in the green, red, blue, white, purple, rainbow states. I don't care. It's the time to put all these resources together, okay? So that's the first part. Find a doula in your community. Number 2, mutual funds. Jangi, if you're Cameroonian, you know what Jangi is. If you're not, if you're Caribbean, you're African American, you're Ghanaian, you know what Susu is. Susu, people come together, put your money together. If you don't have, you know, a traditional mutual fund in your community that you can put to, find a Jangi, find a Susu. Very important, because eventually these financial resources will come into play where you might need your community to help out. Number 3 is very technical. So I'm in marketing and communications technology, right? So please listen to me when I say this. Siri, Alexa, Bixby, if you have Samsung, Google, they're not your friends. They're not your friends, right? Every AI on your recording devices, they're not your friends. They listen, right? So as you ask and give it information, Google, where's the nearest this next to me? Where's the nearest Target next to me? Where's the nearest clinic next to me? When is it that they gather this information? Now, that's when you're asking. But when you're not asking, it also listens. And that's why you have a conversation on the phone, for example, for Lake, about pens. All of a sudden, you see all these ads, pen, from Bic, Moulin, you name all the pens, Renault, all the pen brands, right? You're literally going to see all these pen brands now coming in your feed, and you're like, wait, hold up. You talk about a medication that you're using with your friend or with your doctor, all of a sudden you see that medication on your timeline. Incredibly invasive, and it happens. Why? Because that's what AI technology would do. So if you think for 5 seconds that Jeff Bezos, as capitalist as he is, person who wants to go to the moon, go to Mars, go to the planets I've never heard of, go to Pluto, if you think they're not going to sell your information, you're mad. In a capitalist society, the highest bidder is most likely going to get what they want, right? So this leads me into your period tracking apps. I don't care, Stardust. I love Stardust, and I know they're saying they're encrypting everything so that if they subpoena, they're not going to give you information. You do not know these things. I don't care, encryption, whatever. Do not just delete all of them. Flow, absolutely not. All these period tracking apps, completely delete them. Start tracking your period using the Moon, right? I did something on ovulation. I did something on the female cycle, and basically how to plan your life around that. Revisit that. But we will do another vlog literally showing you how to track your cycle with the Moon, even if your cycle is irregular. But you're now going to start using pen and paper. You're now going to start using your head. If your cycle is regular, you have absolutely no excuse. You have no excuse, because now I'm going to show you how to use the Moon. If it's irregular, we'll show you another method. But you can absolutely track these without any of these apps. Just get rid of them right now. Forget what anyone's telling you, just get rid of them. Also, when you're having very sensitive conversations with your doctor or whatever, or your friends on the phone about emergencies like that, all you have to do is understand that any device that has a microphone can be remotely activated. So you want to make sure you leave all your devices, and in person is always the best. If it's a very sensitive conversation, in person is the best. Again, community will be key. Number 4, find a local abortion access fund. Like, this is going to be like one of the most important things you're going to have to do, right? That's why I put it for number 4. This is one of the most important things you're going to have to do. Why? Because these people are very, very well trained. It's not like an influencer or an activist or a politician or a community worker or whatever that you just heard about, and you're researching, trying to find out if, they're trustworthy, they know what they're doing, tell them your secrets, etc. Don't trust people like that without building community. So in cases like this, right now that you can, when it's legal, what you have to do is make sure that you look for these abortion access funds. Take all the, have their contacts, really network properly, have these contacts and everything put together, so that way, if you, a friend or someone or a sister that needs it, when that time comes, when these things become perhaps very, very underground railway like, you would have these things to tap into. You will have these communities, you will have these people, this network. For example, the Northwest Abortion Access Fund is an example, and it covers, I think, Washington, Ohio. It covers these areas, right? And just find one that is, locally accessible to you, and make sure you have all your contacts, make sure you're networking properly. That way, when you stay ready, you ain't gotta get ready, okay? When you stay ready, you do not have to get ready. So please make sure that you have this information down packed. That way, it's not going to be an issue in the future, all right? Very important. These people are incredibly well trained, incredibly networked. They are super well trained. They're super networked. There's absolutely no way you can go wrong, except it goes wrong, because you never know, then obviously you know what to do. But these people, they understand what's going on. They understand cases of emergency, how to navigate that. Okay, they're so well trained. People have been fighting abortion accessibility forever, right? That's why Roe v. Wade even came about, and these networks have still been there. They've been training people. They are equipped. You don't have to necessarily worry about them selling you out the way you would worry about, just a regular person you meet on the street lying, doing whatever. That's secure, right? All legal. So get all that information in now that especially it's federally okay. Now we know about the Emergency Treatment and Active Labor Act, the Emergency Medical Treatment and Active Labor Act that was put in 1986, right? And recently, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago, Biden basically made sure that, hey, listen, this is federal. Federal supersedes, state laws. So under this federal act, basically, doctors are covered, patients are covered in terms of emergencies, right? And if you have a medical emergency, abortions are included in that. You will be protected, so that way your doctor doesn't have to be on the phone, because that's what's happening now. In case you don't know, in a lot of these red states already, like the super uber conservative ones, doctors are already not working on women, who have abortions. They're on the phones with their lawyers, and the women are going into sepsis, basically with their stomachs turning green and about to literally be unalived, right? And the patient, when you're pregnant, will also have to come in with their lawyers. So the doctor and the patients are on the phones with their lawyers trying to make sure that legally they are covered. That is insane. And people have already died from this. That is insane. So protect yourself, okay? So these are the 4 tips that I'm going to give you free of charge right here. And the other 3 tips, see you on the Patreon. All right.
DJ Jamsey. DJ Jamsey.